see you play along practice session number 4. And I was able to iron out a couple of kinks, technical kinks this week. So I'm doing it all, a bit of ukulele, a bit of technology for everybody's enjoyment. So today is practice session number 4. We are gonna dig a bit deeper in what we've seen as far as week 2's content. And hopefully, hopefully that could help set the stage if you could do some of that stuff or your version of it, because I don't want to be too prescriptive. I'd like to point what should be practice. So I'm going to do practice in the best way I could think someone that's a beginner might do. But in the end, you know yourself better than I do, I'm pretty sure. With that in mind, I'm going to go right ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on some warm-up. As mentioned previously, warm-ups are super important. You should always start with them. So today I decided, since I'm going to be playing a bit of rhythm, I decided I'm going to go 5 minutes warm-up, give or take, and some of it is going to be strumming. Some of it is going to be getting my hand ready. So I'm going to start with my hand because my hand has not been playing a lot of ukulele today, which we should fix. So I'm going to switch cameras because I know it's easier for all of you. Oh, by the way, really important quick note. Those of you that are a bit more detail-oriented might have picked up on the fact that I'm using a different ukulele. And that is because this is a low G ukulele. The reason I'm playing a low G today is just to mix it up. I'm not sure if anyone else has a low G, but I like, depending on the song, sometimes I prefer a low G. Anyway, in the spirit of being equally representative of all the ukuleles out there, I figured low Gs also need a space. I'm gonna make a video at one point on should you get a low G? So I did one in French and it was a highly popular video, so I'm gonna do one. So this is a low G, so if it doesn't sound quite the same, it's not you, it's totally me. All right, so let's start with some finger yoga. Pick a fret that works for you, and I'm just gonna play that finger yoga very quickly. Well, not quickly, because practice time is about taking your time. Nice. So holding the fingers, the goal of finger yoga is to, I might need to bring this one over with this finger. If this is too difficult at the first fret, make sure you go to 3rd, 4th, whatever works. Not much more than 5th though. And don't forget to breathe. It might hurt a lot or a little, in which case you just, like Taylor Swift, you shake it off. Okay, moving forward. Nice. And so I know what you're wondering, where is the jam along? Well, this is kind of finger yoga along. Jam along is coming in a second. Bear with me. Yes. If you like a different exercise, you don't have to do this one. Okay, 2 strings in. I don't want to overdo this, but depending on where you're at, you might want to do that a little longer. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare for that tone of mine. So as I mentioned, every ukulele has different, I want to say, sweet spots. And in this case, I want to find out what my low G sweet spot is. So I'm just going to go ahead and play some strumming a bit on this one. So just down, up, just. So I'm going to start with the thumb. A C chord. Okay, I don't quite like the sound, so I'm going to move around. That's better. I have a tenor ukulele, so it's possible that your sweet spot might be very different. I'm a big fan of that hybrid technique, which is strum down with the thumb and strum up with the index with the fleshy part. You know what we discussed earlier. Okay, cool. Just the index. Yeah, I'm feeling this today. Okay, so this is a really quick warm-up. I could be doing more depending on what I want to do. I could be doing some singing, but I'm gonna stay simple today. Okay, cool. So warming up, you could go up to 5 minutes doing that. For the sake of, hey camera, come back here. For the sake of this, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna go right ahead and do a couple of chord changes. So pick 2 chord changes that work for you at home. If those are too simple, that's a-okay. No, we're not gonna pick A minor because A minor got its turn earlier. So let's go from D minor today to G. Okay, so D minor to G. Again, if this is too simple, pick a more complicated chord change. If it is not too simple, if it's too hard, pick a simpler chord change. But eventually you should all be able to do from D minor to G without a problem. So let's set ourselves up for success real quick. Okay, so D minor, quick reminder, this is how it looks. It spells out 2, 2, 1, 0. And make it a habit to play one string at a time, because this is how you check that you're not choking a string or having a bad technique on a finger. So on the fingertips, just like it shows in the yoga. Nice. So this is G minor and D minor, sorry, and then G. I'm gonna get it eventually. G, here we go, G. So G looks like this, and so what you do is you just place those 3 fingers. It spells 0, 2, 3, 2. Again, I'm on low G ukulele for those just joining. Okay, so my thinking is, how am I gonna go from D minor to G? I asked myself that question in my head, and it looks like, so this is D minor. So there needs to be a lift of the finger. Because it's G, I will need to pivot, drop down. So this is another trick for those who've been looking at practicing chord changes. At first, that's a lot. Like that's a 3-finger chord going to another 3-finger chord. So to train your fingers, like do this again. I can't stress this enough. 100 times at your own pace. So if it's too difficult, 2 fingers at a time, well, start with the original D minor. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna aim to drop 1 finger. So I'm gonna pick my first finger, so it goes here. I know that sounds silly, but it does work. So by the way, it works with more complicated chord. Maybe you have a different chord that doesn't, like you're struggling with. Use that strategy just to get it like, so your fingers can understand, and just dropping that first finger is not yet quite the G chord. Oops, it's on the wrong string. Okay. Then once you're good with that, go with 2 fingers. I like this pair, so fingers 1 and 2 on the G chord, which I'm gonna put on screen because D minor had its turn. Okay. So let's go to D minor. And just that pair. If that pair works, try this pair, 1 and 3. And normally after you have 1 and 2 and 1 and 3 together, you should take a stab at going from D minor to G, even if the fingers, like I put down the pair and then the finger, that's a-okay. Eventually it will be all fingers at once. But wait, there's more. Once you're at G, what do you need to do? You need to go back to D minor. Okay, so how does that work? So to do that, it's very simple. What you need to do is you are going to use the same strategy. So I was in a pivot. I need to de-pivot, if that makes any sense, bringing my hand more 90 degrees angle, like so. So I was like this, and I'm going 90 degrees. So I'm on my G chord that has that nice pivot, opening the door, like so. And I'm going back to D minor. Okay, once you're cool with that, what you're going to do is you're going to use a rhythm such as rhythm number 3, which is whole note, which is the da. So and we're going to change chords between D minor and G. Again, this is kind of the getting there. We're working on chord changes, so this is different than rhythm. So pro tip, let's go back. Pro tip, when you're working on a new concept, in this case chord changes, in the way we're working them, it's fairly new. So when you're working on a new concept, what you're going to do is going to use something from the past, not long ago, just the previous week, rhythm number 3. Make sure that whatever you're practicing, you don't have too many things going on that you're unfamiliar with. Just pick one and it should be fine. I'm just gonna have a quick sip of water. All right, there we go. Okay, let's do this. Let's put our trusty metronome at 60 and let's switch using, that's wonderful. Okay, and I'm gonna switch cameras, D minor to G, and we're gonna do a whole note. Here we go. Actually, we're gonna go even a bit slower because I know some of you are ultra beginners. Those that aren't, ignore my click and set something else. Go double my speed. There you go. 1, 2, 3, here we go. And B minor to keep that hand moving, and switch to G to maybe prepare in advance if you find you're getting a bit late. 2, 3, keep the hand moving, and G. So that's 50. If it's still too fast for you, you could try 40. The goal is to try to bring it all together, that strumming hand that keeps on moving while switching the chord on time. It gives you a bit of a deadline, which is nice because then it trains you to go a bit faster. Just a quick heads up, by the way. If you're finding that you're failing at this, please don't be discouraged. This is not my goal, obviously. It's normal. It takes a while before it sinks in. So if it's too difficult, maybe pick 2 easier chords that day just to prop yourself back up. That's definitely a good strategy. The other thing that you might want to be doing is you might want to slow down a little more. So if 50 is too much, like go 40 and see what happens then. The other thing, which was forgotten art. There you go. Good job, Jeff. Is patience. Patience is something we've forgotten about. Some things, it's going to take a little while before you get them. So you might be, let's say, at 50 and you're like, or 45 and you're like almost getting it, but not quite. Like, this is a good time to become stubborn over several days. So give it a shot Monday and see that it's not quite so satisfying. Then go at it again a bit Tuesday. Eventually, something's gonna give, right? So, and it's gonna be either the chord change, or usually it's the chord change that gives up and surrenders. All right, nice. So this is for this chord change. I'm gonna do another one because, repetition is good for learning. I'm gonna go with, so we just look at this one. Let's go with G7 to E minor. Okay, this one, again, just a quick recap for those that are not necessarily in the course. You should definitely sign up for the course. This is just my 2 cents. For those that are not in the course, what we're doing with Ukulele Foundations is we're practicing all the basic moves that you're gonna be doing 8,000 times as you become more and more advanced. But we're isolating them, and the reason we're doing that is because when you isolate those moves, well, then you're confident because when the song comes that has the exact chord change, I know this, I've done it. So isolating these little skills on their own, not too much so that we don't get bored or discouraged, will yield tremendous results. So G7 to E minor is what we're doing right now. That's E minor and that's G7. Maybe you're not quite solid with those chords just yet. If that's your situation, that's okay. I mean, here goes your motivation. Work on the rest, work your way up to there. But absolutely the chords that we're seeing in this class are all chords you'll need to know eventually. So the sooner the better, more fun. So G7 to E minor. So let's switch cameras and let's do this. G7, all right. Again, if you're not comfortable with the chord, there's a squeeze and hold technique that we've talked about. But so it's 0, 2, 1, 2. It has that nice opening the door pivot again, and all my fingers are in the proper position, close to the fret, on the fingertips, and so on and so forth. Okay, nice. So we go from D minor, G7, sorry, to E minor. So E minor is a different beast. It spells 0, 3, 0, 3, to 1 as far as fingers, but it spells as far as frets 0, 4, 3, 2. It has quite a different sound on a low G like I'm using right now. Okay, so how are we gonna go between ask yourself these questions and you figure it out eventually? I'm not gonna always be there to support you. No, that's not true. I will always be there as long as I can anyway to help you out. All right, G7. So we're in that pivot like so. And we want to know there's no pivot absolutely for the E minor, so it's pivotless. So we have to take into account that motion. And there's also, for those that are observant, there's a shift. I'm playing in first position, meaning it includes the first fret. Whereas here, I'm playing in the second position, meaning the finger that has the lowest fret number is number 2. So this is the second position in this case. That's not always a good description, but it works for our context. Okay, cool. So E minor, so I'm switching. So I have to think that I'm going to go from here, unpivot, travel across 1 fret, and then drop the fingers down 1 by 1, ideally all at the same time. Okay, cool. So what you want to do is, first step is always what I'm doing right now. There's no speed, there's no nothing. It's like the ultra slow down. As I mentioned, practice sessions. This is perfect if you're just lounging outside on a park bench or on a picnic, just on your lazy chair. It's just practice those moves. The goal is, again, the finger dance to make this really gracious. Okay. Nice. Okay. Once I'm comfortable with that step, but maybe today's practice session for you, depending on your level, maybe that's like you've done this 5 minutes and this is as far as you got, which is a-okay. Again, you could take a whole year to go through that class, no problem. Nice. Okay, so let's try it with a bit of, still gonna keep a simple rhythm. This time, I'm gonna slow all the way down to 40 just for those of you out there that have not quite reached that level. And it's also a tougher chord change. Feel free to pick a simpler one if you wanna have more success today. 1, 2, 3, and switching over to E minor. 2, 3, 4, and back to G7. 2. You might leave a bit ahead. 4, leave a bit ahead, just to give you, especially in this type of rhythm. And okay, that was good. I could keep doing this a bit longer, but I want to tackle other things. I might come back if there are special requests. So then it begs the question, some people have asked me that in the past, so I'm going to answer ahead of time. So, okay, Jeff, that's cool. I'm able to play at 60, but what then? You know, what's next? Well, I'm glad you asked. So the next step, obviously, once you master it at 60, can you do that at 66 and then 72? Don't worry, there's a limit. I want to say for most of the songs out there that you're probably going to want to be playing, you want to get that skill level switching between chords up to at least 100 BPMs. Or if you don't want to do that, you're going to make a decision right now that from now on, you're only going to play very slow versions of every song, which is also wonderful. But this is what we're aiming for. So what am I talking about here? I'm going to just demonstrate quickly. So this is 40, right? I'm just going to use a simple chord change. So it's that G, 2, 3, 4, 2, E minor. So that's fairly slow, but to be fair, I'm also working on other things such as keeping a rhythm and so on and so forth. This is what 100 looks like. And keep in mind, I'm doing a very simple rhythm right now. Of course, we want to do something a bit more interesting, but this is what it looks like. 100, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, E minor, and G, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so just to be really clear, I'm not expecting anyone to master that speed right now. If you are, that's great. I'm happy for you. But you need to work your way up to that. So a lot of ukulele foundations is about giving you a toolbox. Like, it's a bit like going to the gym again. I know some of you don't like the gym, but seriously, if you're just starting out, I'm not going to, I mean, I hope the trainer is not going to give you 500 pounds and go, hey, yo, figure it out. No, of course not. You're going to start with those maybe 1 pound or 2 pound weights, and over time work your way. So speed is kind of the same. Start slow, start relaxed, start with the good habits such as the movements, and you should be well on your way to success. Speaking of rhythm, it's now time. We are going to go ahead and practice some rhythms. Let's do it. Nice. Oh, there's something in the background which I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'm going to turn it off. Hang on. I will be there shortly with you. There we go. Much better. Okay, let's do this. As we talked about what you want to do on your metronome here, you want to set it so that the subdivisions are set to eighth notes. If there are questions about that, hit me up, send me a message. Might do a little video on this. And you want to go at a speed that works for you. So I'm going to go with 50. It might be too fast for some of you, too slow. I'm not Santa Claus. I cannot make everyone happy. So there you go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, that works. Let's take a F chord at home and let's go through that. Or take the chord of your choice. 2 and 3 and 4. So it's T, 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 T. That's fine. I'm going to go and I'm going to do the percussive strum. Again, you're trying to match the clicks. And let's go with the chord. Focus on timing. All right, I forgot one important step. You need to tap your foot in there or bob your head, something. Okay, I'm gonna go through and do another one. So that might have been a bit fast for some of you. So I'm gonna slow it down for the next one to 40. And by the way, some people have asked me, Jeff, how could I structure my practice sessions? I'll talk about that some more over the following courses and following weeks. For now, I want to keep it a bit free form just so that you could try your hand at these things. But ideally, there's a science to it. There's a way to organize things that works for you and you don't have to spend a ton of time but still make progress. So bear with me. I'll answer that question later. Okay, so 40, each click equals an eighth note. 1 and 2, go with your hands and tap your foot. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Let's go with the nicknames. Da, ti, 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 da, ti, 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 ti. Let's go with D minor. Okay, now that we're all warmed up, let's go to rhythm number 9. Same deal. I'm just going to go a bit faster because everybody's getting it by now. Da, ti, ti, da, ti, ti, da, ti, ti, da, ti, ti. Let's go with C. So to answer the other question, how far, is the same as with the chord changes. Eventually you want to build your way with speed. So again, the goal would be 80, 100, ideally a bit more, but that covers most of the needs. So last but not least, and then we could do a song or two where we apply everything. Again, as you can tell, the strategy is always we start with separate, sections of what we're going to be playing. we add it up, and we climax with a song. All right, G7. Let's go G7. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna go a bit faster for those that are more advanced. I'm gonna keep it at 60. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and ta ta ti ti ta ti ti ta ta ti ti. Percussive. Nice. And only go when you feel you're comfortable. If you feel you need to go to the step before, that's fine. Okay, now I have it. Let's go with G7. 2, 3. Da, da, ti, ti, da, da, ti, ti, da. Okay. Okay, good. That was fun, but not as much fun as songs are going to be. So we did a bit of, I guess, rhythm. We did a bit of chord changes. We warmed up. Never. I mean, I'm not the boss of you, obviously, but please, I implore you, don't end any practice without playing at least a little bit of a song, so that you can have some fun too, because that's kind of the goal of ukulele, right? Overall. So I'm gonna mix it up. I'm gonna have maybe a more complex song, but not too much. Let's go with some Beatles. It's on that spreadsheet I share with everyone. So I'm just gonna pull it up right here, real quick. It could be anything. I'm trying to curate those songs by level so that you all have something to play with, and also being mindful of chord changes. You might have to adjust in the links I give you. You might have to adjust to the key of C. So I'm just gonna. There we go. Some Beatles. Beatles are always good, in my opinion. I'm a big Beatles fan. I personally believe, for one, believe that the Beatles on the ukulele take a whole other meaning. They're really nice. And so, I'm looking for the Beatles in the key. The first chord should be D minor. So, I'm gonna share my screen. Bear with me. Is it this one? Yeah, that's not too bad. Or this one. Yeah, I think I probably like this better. So just bear with me. And I'm gonna, here we go. Perfect. Nice. And maybe reduce this. So as I said, the first chord should be D minor. We're not in D minor right now. The first chord here is, oh, you actually can't see it. That's a shame. Hang on. There we go. Much better. It's F sharp minor. So let's hit that transpose button that you're not seeing on screen. And I'm gonna click on plus until I get this chord to be D minor. Okay, wonderful. By the way, this is from the Ultimate Ukulele Fake book, which I recommend. They have really nice, I guess, tonality selections. They have really nice, there's always a first note to sing, which is super helpful. Get the book if you can. The link is on the courses page. It's wonderful. All right, so, and I'm gonna make this a bit bigger because it's Friday, Jeff. Don't scroll just yet, please. Beatles, always scrolling. Okay, cool. So let's go. This is also another pretense to do some more chord changes. So what's the first chord? What are the chord changes you're gonna need to play this song? You're gonna need from D minor to A minor. And you're also gonna need from F to G, and then G to C. Actually, I forgot from A minor to F, which is easy. So that might be another way you decide on which chord changes you practice for today's practice or whatever that is pick a simple song, maybe from that list, and then just practice those chord changes in pair. And you wanna get them at least 100 times at a slow speed where you're comfortable and you feel, okay, I got this. Then slowly work your way back to normal or more fun levels. Quick sip of water. Okay, so let's talk about this. As I mentioned, strumming is a lot about intention and technique. So in this case, what I like to do when I tackle a new song, I'm going to bring everything together. I'm going to choose a rhythm. And in this case, I'm going to choose number 8, which is ta, ti, 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 da, ti, 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 ti. It's a fairly slow song. This is why I chose it. Am I going to use my index? Am I going to use my thumb, a hybrid technique? We'll see all about that in a second. So, but these are questions I'm starting to ask myself when I'm tackling a new song like this one. And let's go. So I'm going to go, so just a D minor. Da, ti, 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 ti. I like to stay there just to... Also to figure out what the first note I'm going to sing is. Yeah, that's it. I give up all my love. I'm going to move my hand. That's all I do. Okay, and with the rhythm now, oh, that's another thing. So I'm letting you into my brain, which might not be a pleasant experience in hindsight. But I'd like for you to pick up on those tricks, those that work for you, of course. I'm trying to find where the melody and the chord changes are, of course. And I'm also trying to see if I could sing and how fast I should go, all these things. So this is why you saw me go. See how my hand is moving? And I like to stay, maybe just start with the first sentence and get that going before going for the full song, because otherwise it's going to feel a bit clunky. So there's no shame in just looping. Actually, it's quite fun and very meditative if you want to believe that. It's just loop on that. I'm going to do it. So let's just do that. D to A minor. I'm going to focus on that first song. And I know I'm a bit over time, but this is my Friday gift to you. And just switch techniques to index. This is rhythm number 8, remember? I give it all my love. That's all I do. D minor again. And if you saw my love, F, you love her too. And I love her. So, a couple of things here. I opted for some version of my nails are a bit too long to my liking, but I went with that nail, very light touch, very slow. And of course, just like everything else, my voice would also need to warm up. So after doing this for 5 minutes, my singing is probably going to be much better, as long as I respect all the principles I've talked about so far, which are, you need to take your time. You need to give yourself a chance, like encouragement. Don't put yourself down if it's not quite there. Like work your way up to it. Like get in the ukulele mode is my thing. So rhythm number 7, try it. You could try that song maybe with rhythm number 8, 9, and 10 as well. Keep it slow. If that's too fast, just slow it down. I don't have the metronome just yet, because, as I said, these are steps that you add on top of each other. But at some point, you should definitely try it with a metronome, even if it's slow. Find that speed that works for you. Just to make sure you don't get into the bad habits of not moving your hand, or, sometimes when we're all starting out, it looks a little bit like this, right? I'm going to do it again. 2, 3, 4. See that long pause? This is what we don't want. It's normal to begin with. So use a metronome. Why is that happening, by the way? There are 2 things. I'm not clear on my chord changes, so that's one problem that we should solve ahead of time. But it probably means you're great to play rhythm number 7 at this speed on one chord, but you haven't mastered that speed for the chord change. In which case, go back to the the practice room and work your way up to that speed. But in the meantime, you might have to slow down the song. Okay, cool. Let's do one last one real quick, and then I'm gonna hop off. So what shall I pick? Let's find out. The Everly Brothers are a bit involved. Let's go with Peter Green, Black Magic Woman in A minor. All right, let's do this. In front of your very eyes. Okay, this is popularized by Carlos Santana, of course, but it should be fine. I'm just literally, as you can tell, going off this side and opening. So, by the way, this is a good point as we're jamming together right now. I want to stress out that if the chords that are there work for you, I mean, don't change them. If they don't work for you, then you should definitely hit that transpose button until it works for you. Okay, so a couple of things that we're putting in practice here. So is this song fast or not? It's probably not fast because Jeff shows it again, but that's part of the appeal. So for those that don't know the song, you might want to go on YouTube and listen to it on Spotify, whatever you have, Apple Music. I don't want to leave anyone behind. Prime Stream Music. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to get sued. So again, so we need that chord change from D minor to A7. I'm curious to see, just check something really quickly. I'm going to bring it down to A minor. Yeah, it's more or less the same. Okay, I just wanted to check if it changed much. Okay, that's cool. So I'm just trying to find, so I'm going to go through the chords. I'm warming up. It's basically 2-chord song, which is fabulous when you think about it. There's actually a chord missing here. I'll correct it later. Or, hang on. Let's go with this version real quick. Okay, it's 7. Never mind. Oh, by the way, quick trick. If you get to a song where you're like, oh, I don't know these chords, what am I gonna do? I have a solution for you. On here, you click on that button here. Simplify. See, all better. So that's a little trick I love about Ultimate Guitar for those that did not know just yet. Okay, so let's go with which rhythm am I going to choose? Very quickly, I need to get in presentation mode. I'm going to go with rhythm, this one, rhythm number 9. Hang on, I'm almost there. This one. Okay, ta, ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta. Okay, good. Let's do this. And let's go with the simple version. I'm actually going to go back to the previous one. Just bear with me. Here we go. Okay, what does it look like? Let's go, Jeff. We got a black magic woman. Got a black magic woman. Okay, I don't have quite the pitch just yet, but I'll find it. Just go between the first 2 chords. Got a black magic woman. Got a black magic woman. So the chords are not the right spot. Got a black magic woman. So blind, I can't. Okay, we have G minor. We haven't talked about this one just yet. C. Got that black magic woman. Got So I'm learning the song with you guys. Okay, so this is a perfect example of maybe a bit more than I could chew on a first try, which is okay. It's going to happen to you. So, lesson learned. What have we learned here today? I think we've learned that we should not do this live. No, we have learned that, oh, I forgot about that G minor chord. So maybe I should look ahead and make sure I know all the chords. So that's something I could have done. If I'm not familiar with G minor, I need to work on G minor alone. And then maybe on D minor to G minor, which is another fun, let me just quickly turn. D minor to G minor is super fun because it's kind of the same position, but you kind of come from compressed to all stretched out for the D minor, G minor, D minor, explode, and switch strings. This is a really good chord change to practice, by the way. So just for what it's worth, eventually, when you're not trying with a specific rhythm, you might, wrong view. Jeff. So this is probably more along the lines of the rhythm. I would something more Latin, but it's not. It's different than. But it's in the same family. So, but eventually. Got a black magic woman. Got a black magic woman. That type of thing. I'm not quite on the right note today. Maybe it's a Friday thing. I'll figure it out. I'll do a good performance for you eventually. So that's it for today. I'm going to take a couple of questions from the people on the Zoom call. I went a bit overboard. I was excited. You know me. This is how I roll. So any questions, comments? Nice to see some people on the call with me. Oh.
No questions from me.
Awesome. Elda, I want to thank you again for helping me figure out the feedback thing. As you could tell, it's gone.
Yes, great.
Fantastic. Simon, did you have any questions?
No, I don't have anything at the moment, thank you.
That's very awesome. So choose your rhythms, choose the chords you want to practice, find your speed. But this is what we'd be working towards. And again, if you can't keep up with the pace for whatever reason, there's no rush. Please continue showing up to the class. I love seeing you, but go at your own speed. This is the beauty. But one thing's for sure, all those concepts, gradually working your way up to at least 80 or 100, taking your time, making mistakes, and then learning from them. All those apply, and if you do enough of that, as we will see how to structure those in the practice properly, you're going to be finding that, wow, look at me. I can now play Bohemian Rhapsody, or whatever is the song that you'd like to play. So that's it. So, on that very note, I hope everyone's going to have a good weekend. Take advantage of the sunshine tomorrow to go play some ukulele outside. We'll be back on Monday with week 3. Which is exciting because we're going to see chord progressions, real chord progressions, the most common ones. We're going to be seeing a ton of songs over the next couple of weeks. So as I mentioned, week 1 and 2 are about laying that foundation, hence the name of the course. The rest is just going to be applying what we've learned, some new rhythms, a bit more about strumming, but more and more in the context of songs, and some melodies. We're going to be playing some of the melodies of the song because, applying rhythm to melody. Melody also contains rhythm, and it's going to enable us to have something such as the finger picking. We're going to be ready for fingerstyle playing. So that's it. Enjoy. Thank you for showing up online and on the Zoom call. I really appreciate every single one of you. And go play some ukulele now. Bye.
Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend. Bye.